Hey everybody, Rob here for Southwest Florida Television. As you can see, it is an absolutely gorgeous Monday morning here in North Naples, Florida at Delnor-Wiggins Pass State Park. Beautiful colors, beautiful blue sky all around. A little bit of a breeze out here. Water's starting to clear up, looking really good. Barb Grove is out here, the shell lady at Delnor-Wiggins Pass State Park, and I thought we'd just pay her a little visit and see how she's doing today, see if there's anything new over here that we could chat about. She's got somebody she's talking to over here now. She hates her job, by the way.
Oh my God. And what had happened was a big tide came in, brought
some
them
of her
all
shells down here.
in, and no tides came after that reached them. So they were, but it happens with, a lot of times with the any kind.
Ooh, that breeze is picking up.
You know, I have found that when I'm looking for jingles, I find a lot of other things.
Yeah, right.
Because you're looking so...
Some neat Murex shells over there.
And...
You got some coral.
That's what I wondered.
Finger coral.
Finger coral. Okay.
Yes. Lovely.
It's the biggest one. Well, my husband just found it in the walk. He wasn't on the
That's good. And sometimes you'll see a whole bunch of sponges.
Yeah,
and
you do.
That all of these...
I saw a couple different kinds of sponge the other day. Yeah.
The day that I found these type of things, the sponges were there.
Yeah.
And the that algae, green algae, those little clumps of green.
Oh, well, I remember the day that this woman brought me a whole bunch of, they were like slugs. and they were all different colors. They were beautiful colors, so I took them home and put them out in the shed. Thank goodness I had a shed, because when I looked out there the next morning, it was just a gray blob.
Ugh.
It was.
So what were they? Did you ever find out what they were?
Yes, I did, but I don't remember what I found out here. Because I haven't seen many.
And what is this? Because I did find one of these.
That one I have to tell. That's a sponge.
That's a sponge, yeah.
Okay, do you know what kind?
Yes, it's a red-bearded sponge.
Red-bearded, okay.
But I have to tell you a story about that. Well, let's see, what are we looking at? We're looking at...
The slugs, whatever.
The slugs, yeah. Well,
And they were found here on the beach?
Yes.
Those slugs?
Oh, yeah. In fact, like I said,
I kind of remember when they were washing up. There was a time where, we had a lot of them on the beach here. Yep.
I'm not finding them right away.
You said that was the best book to get.
I got, yeah, it is.
I ordered it.
This is red-bearded sponge, and when it's alive, it's bright red.
Huh.
And if you took that sponge and put it into a blender, turn it on high, then maybe 3-4 minutes, and then turned it off, it can put itself back together again.
That's amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that a wow? Yeah. And they're doing a lot of research on this to see if they can't find some way that we can find out how to put limbs back. Yeah.
That's wild.
Red-bearded sponge.
There is so much going on under the water.
And that's true.
We just have to make sure that it stays and does its miracle. Did you know, now most of you know about the little slipper shell. You see them everywhere. It's born male, turns female, lays eggs, turns male, and fertilizes the eggs.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that's a good story.
Slipper.
I hope I can remember that one.
Well, it isn't the only shell that does that either, but it is one of them that does it so completely back and forth. And in the ocean, they're on top of each other like that, and it's always a female at the bottom, but if she dies, the next one becomes female. Now you ask yourself, they're not thinking this. It's just happening in a very natural, normal way, and
bizarre.
I'm sure involved with the environment and that it lives in, But
wow.
So when you see these, they look almost nondescript because there's so many. But little miracle workers there.
Wow.
Little slipper shell.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
I'm going to send that story to my grandchildren.
Usually men have a different reaction than women do.
That's funny.
Thank you.
Oh, well, come back again. I'm here on.
Yeah, and I'll bring you.
Oh, yes, I'd love to have that. Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
hey,
I
Barb,
thought of you one day. I thought.
tell us about these Murex shells. Those Murex, because we find Murex shells here at Delnor-Wiggins.
Absolutely. These two are the two we find here primarily. The lace murex and the apple murex.
Those are two nice specimens. Did those come from the beach here?
Yes,
Boy, those are nice specimens.
they're lovely.
That lace is
I've
beautiful.
become a shell snob.
The lace murex.
I only want the lovely ones.
Yeah, I know you. I'm a hoarder. You're a snob.
And here's another apple murex, only this one has the operculum in it.
Oh, wow.
The trap door.
Look at the size of that one. Man.
That was given to me.
The lace murex and the apple murex. And that's from here at Delnor-Wiggins. And then you got some that
I've got some from
don't
around.
look anything like that.
And these two,
Wow.
the two different kinds of murex from other parts of the world, but you've given me a chance to say it again.
This is the neatest one of them all.
This is the neatest one of them all, and this is a murex. And I picked this up in the mud flats of Zanzibar.
Where did you get that?
Zanzibar.
Zanzibar. That is so neat. It's what amazes me
Here's
is how you travel with
here's
that.
another murex. Yeah.
Wow. That's a. Oh yeah. They all have that like that little keyhole
They do.
shape to them. What's the other side look like on that one?
It
Oh,
looks
wow.
like coral.
It does. Yeah, that doesn't even look like a shell.
No.
That is really neat.
And I can't tell you any more about it, but I'll keep looking.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Enjoy.
What else you got here? Oh, tell us. Let's see. What was that right there?
That's a
You got
fluted clam.
A fluted clam.
Clam, and that's from Haiti.
Wow. Fluted
And
clam.
here's another one that sort of self-identifies.
Self-identifies. Well, it looks like a hat. A turban.
Okay, close, but not not a winnable.
What the heck is that?
A slit shell.
So, okay, with the slit, a slit shell. That's the name of it, a slit shell?
Yeah.
Interesting. What does that look like underneath? Anything interesting going on? Oh,
Quite beautiful,
that
actually.
is neat. A slit shell. Now, where does that come from again?
That comes from the Indo-Pacific, so it could be
Indo,
anywhere toward Japan.
Okay. Where's that one shell that we didn't know what it was? Tell us that story.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, tell us that
Well,
story.
a lady that owns one of the wonderful shops here near Kelly's restaurant.
Well, you can say the name of it.
Can I?
You
It's
can say the name of
Kelly's Shell
it.
Shack.
Yeah.
And I was in there just oohing and awing everything in there, and we struck up a conversation, and I asked her how much this shell was. And she said, I don't know. And she said, because I don't know what this shell is.
Huh.
So she gave it to me. Isn't that a wonderful thing to do? And I showed you and the world this shell
That was
a day later. And within a day, 2 people had told us exactly what this is. And it's called a Lazarus clam.
A Lazarus clam. You know, that looks like it could be prehistoric.
It could be prehistoric and it could be extinct. I haven't seen anything quite like it.
That is neat.
But don't you love it when it's a puzzle?
Yeah.
Then you have
it
to
makes
do
it more
research.
exciting.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When you
Yeah.
have to do a little research.
Do the research and you talk to people about it, and it's stuck together, but I'm not going to pull it apart.
So you think it actually was alive when they didn't glue it together?
I have no,
Yeah.
you know, like they say, if shells could talk.
Yeah, if shells could talk. I always say I pick up the cockle shells here, you know, we have a lot of live ones that show up on the sandbars here.
Yep.
I think you have a cockle over there?
Yep.
Yeah, I see a little cockle
Yes,
over there.
you do.
In the back there, behind that
Oh,
crown.
there it
Yep.
is. And this is a together one,
Yep, that's a whole one.
only it's empty.
But when we see them alive, they look like they're smiling at you. I say, hey, this one's smiling at us. And it looks like they're sticking their tongue out at us. Show everybody how they make a little heart when you, the little cockle heart or an angel. Yeah, when you hold them on the end like that, the cockles. And we got some big ones here at Delnor-Wiggins.
Yes.
We find some big cockle shells. Very common.
I didn't bring my big one.
I got quite a few.
I had a lot of response when I brought my big boys, though.
You did. Everybody liked those big boys.
We'll have to do that again in another couple weeks.
Yeah.
So everybody can enjoy. Yeah. The two big boys I have here.
You got a couple big boys here?
I have lightning whelk.
The lightning whelk?
And a horse conch.
The big horse conch.
Big horse conch.
That's the monster there.
That's one I got from Minnesota.
Minnesota. From the beaches of Minnesota.
The beaches of, no, actually from the garage sales of Minnesota. Somebody bought it or somehow picked it up somewhere in Florida and probably took it home and didn't know what to do with it. So I suggested that I bring it home, and I paid a whole $1 for it.
A whole $1.
And I'm happy to have it.
And that's the one you said you think you could probably wind up paying $100 for in a shell shop. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
At least.
And what was that other one you had with the big boy? That was the Trident,
Trident trumpet?
Trident trumpet. That was
I can bring that.
That was such a neat looking shell.
And that big clinches helmet. That's the biggest shell I've ever had. And that's the one that I found walking past a secretary's desk. And she was using it as a paperweight. You could do the whole library of books and use that as a paperweight. It's a big shell.
That thing was huge.
That
was huge. If you want to see what we're talking about, folks, go back and watch. I think it was last Monday we did that video.
Yes.
A week from today, last Monday. All the huge shells. Barbara's huge shells, man. And that's not all the huge shells you have.
No, but they all have a story.
I bet.
And I'll tell you a joyful thing. Just today, a young boy named Tim came.
Isn't he something? We've been watching him in the morning.
Oh, he knows so much.
I'm sitting right there.
Okay. Yep. He knows so much about shells, and he's like a sponge. He wants to know more about shells and more about shells. So he goes back and forth and bringing shells, and he identified a group of very young girls, kind of shy, about his age, came up and with their little bags full of shells. He taught them what was inside. That was so wonderful, and his chest was just so big and strong, and he was happy. And
we've been watching him in the mornings. Him and his sister are out here picking up shells with their dad. Every morning I see him now.
And they bought the book. I told them.
Nice. What is that? Is that the book you recommend?
Absolutely.
Florida's Living Beaches. Nice.
And it gives you everything about the beaches, not just shells, birds and plants and how beaches are formed.
I got to get a copy of that.
The whole story.
I mean, there's our little turtles and our terns and our shells, our sea stars,
the fish,
flowers.
You get the fish and the dolphins and all of it. And I thank them for writing these books. And they always give a little section at the end of each page. Did you know? And that's where I got a lot of interesting things, like what I've told you about.
You know what? Someday, I'm gonna come out here. I find that on the beach occasionally. After we have a storm, I'll find a lot of that. I'm gonna we've got one of those little battery-powered magic bullet blenders. I want to see what happens if we put that in the blender out here. That is so weird.
I'll tell you, it would have to be a live one, and I know you don't keep live animals.
Yeah. How do you tell if a sponge is alive?
It's bright red. By the time it reaches the beach and looks like this, it's not alive anymore.
I've always seen it bright red here. Always bright red when they wash up.
Oh.
Yeah, always.
It still might be.
And the other day, I wish I had kept it, but I wasn't sure if it was going to sting me. I picked up a sponge. It was a bright, fiery orange colored.
Whoa.
But it looked more like a coral shape, with little fingers sticking up. It didn't look like that.
It's a live animal. It's an animal, so it very well could sting you.
But I know there's a sponge and a coral they're bright orange, and if you touch them, I think they have little, like
Barbs
needles on them or
yeah,
something
yeah.
that get you.
Oh, these are, I don't think that's a problem with this one.
That one, I mean, you can, even that one, I don't know. When I pick them up on the beach, I'll take them and go, and they just pop right back open, right back open. I've seen maybe 3 different types of sponges here, maybe 4,
Yeah, there might be.
but it's usually after a storm.
And you know, and even something like this, when it was alive, was an animal. It's called a soft sponge.
A soft sponge.
So, you know, you see a lot.
I would see that on the beach and almost walk past it thinking it was a stick.
It
an
was
old
just
tree
exactly
branch.
that it was a stick, not an animal.
But that's a sponge.
That's a sponge, a soft sponge.
That is neat.
Hey,
How are you?
good, good,
Well,
good.
it shows one more thing here. Show us what's out of everything you got here. What's your favorite sitting on this? Oh, I wanted to tell you something about Tim, the young man.
Yes.
He went and bought a cowrie. He saw your cowries, you know, last week when you were here, and that's all he kept talking about when I see him in the morning. Have you ever found a cowrie yet? I'm like, no. He's like, I want a cowrie. So he finally went to the store and they got a cowrie the other
good.
day.
I'm so glad.
And so let's show him the cowrie here, since I brought up a cowrie.
Yeah, right. Well, it would have to be like this. And actually, he found one today.
An olive?
Oh, you're talking
The cowrie. Yeah, the cowries.
Like this.
Like that. Now,
Look at the color on that one.
was that found here?
Yes.
I have yet to see one of those. And show everybody what the back looks like. To me, that looks like a big smile. When you look at them underneath,
Doesn't it?
it looks like a big smile underneath there. Like
And with
Big mouth.
good healthy gums.
good, healthy gums. Dirty teeth, but healthy. Yeah, I know. That's funny. But I didn't know you could find cowries here.
Well, this one, you know, came from.
I've never seen a cowrie. That deer cowrie.
This is the deer cowrie that
beautiful.
came from about 4 miles out,
Right.
and it's a beautiful deer cowrie.
I couldn't imagine what I would do if I found a shell like that. If I just was walking the beach and came across something like that, I don't know what I'd do.
You know, you have come across some fabulous things, though.
But I might not be able to control myself.
I'll call your mother, huh?
I call my mother. Well, my mom's watching me right now.
Yes,
Believe me,
she is.
she's
She'd
watching
better
me
be.
from heaven.
She had better be.
That is so beautiful.
It is, and use your
It
finger.
looks like velvet. You know, it just,
There you go.
It looks like a little baby fawn with the little spots.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously.
And it comes out of the water looking just like this. Now, why would you want to change that? That's why I just want them just the way they are.
Yep. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, you got some beautiful stuff here. Your cones, I love these. Everything you got just is so fascinating.
Well, and I know I try to bring something different each time, but I repeat them too because
Oh, that's
people
okay.
like to know. And because how am I going to carry everything with
You're
me when I
educating
come
people.
down?
You know, you got to tell them a couple times for it to sink in.